don't forget to check out Rose City merch. It's the perfect way to show your love for the show and support it. From comfy tees to cool mugs and tumblers, there's something for everyone. Head over to our website now and grab your favorites. The link is in the description. Thank you for your support. Back to the show. Bye. Welcome to Rose City, the after show, the podcast where we dive into the popular novel Rose City by author Karina Q. In each episode, we will be discussing a different aspect of the book, from the complex characters to the intricate plot twists and everything in between. Check out Rose City on Kindle Vella to stay up to date as we explore unique perspectives and insights on the story. Good morning, beautiful Alicia. How are you doing?
I'm doing good this morning. We all know we got there. Finally there.
All right, so we have a cute little icebreaker question that was quite, I think it was quite popular in like 2024. I kept seeing this build your ideal man for $5. So I sent the picture to you, Licia, and I'm gonna pull up the picture for myself, and then we're gonna talk about what would be our ideal perfect man. And I'm gonna be honest, like I think part of it is like you have, so I have two lists, right? So it's like one list is like what you really want, and the other list is like what you need. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a difference between what you need and what you want. Because what you want may not be what you need. So I'm gonna always go with what I need because it's better for me, but baby, them wants.
If you need to, you can always just rewind and see what I said. Okay, so you got $5. That's it, $5. And you have to build your ideal dude. So I'm gonna list it. There's 10 options here. Okay, so for good looking, that costs $3. A funny costs $1. On. For smart, $1. Oh, praise God, great in bed. $2. Faithful, $3. Wealthy, another 3 bones. No kids, but $1. Tall, $1. Great body is $2. And romantic is another 2 bones. So, for me, all of them would be necessary. Only the thing about kids, I really don't mind. If he has a tribe, I guess we're raising a tribe. If everything else, 1 through 9 is okay. So, but for the $5, I told Karina when we were talking about this, I'm like, to take out a loan, or we're gonna put some money together to both build our dudes. Let's pull from savings, do a little something. But for mine, I chose, of course, my number one. We all know Lily's past, Faithful. I will take Faithful for $3. So I only got $2 left. So, from my options here, I want all these, but I guess, Faithful and then, Great in Bed. Because we can make all the other stuff work. We could crack jokes. I can make you funny. Smart, we could read books. Good looking, we could, do a glow up, make it whatever. But yeah, those 2 things, being faithful, that's that's a quality in somebody. Like, it's a good trait, nice little, morals, all that other. And great in bed, meaning perfect size, perfect rhythm, perfect everything. Like, what you're doing, I know what I'm doing, and we make it do what it do. So everything else, because I don't care about the kids. Wealthy, we can get our money up together. Great body, we could work out. And as far as romance, I think that goes hand in hand with great in bed, but we'll make it work. So I just need that. There's my $5. My $3 faithful and my $2 great in bed. What about you, Kareem?
Alicia, you're so smart. And I just love how you just like really broke this whole thing down. Because when I was looking at this, I was like, wait a minute, get a loan. We were joking. I was like, okay, girl, what loan do you need? How much do you need? She was like, I need about $13 because you only have $5 to work with. So we wanted everything on the list, but I guess adding everything on the list wasn't the most important because I was like, well, if I want them faithful and wealthy, I was like, I guess can't do that because both of those are $3. So I was like, somebody loan me 4 quarters. I just need $1, just $1. You know what I mean? So that's not gonna happen. So just yeah, because when I was looking at it, I was like, it's getting really, really important. You want somebody to be handsome, like, good looks cost $3. Like, well, I'm like, but, will I take good looks over faithfulness? Absolutely not. Because you can be a whole 10, but if you're not my 10, then what's that gonna do for me? You know what I mean? Like, because I have a story to go with this, folks. Okay, so I decided let's not go with what you want, or like just like the superficial. Oh, good looking, wealthy. You could be good looking and wealthy and be a total animal. So I was like, you know what? I want faithfulness. Like that's what's going to be important because I need to know that at the end of the day, you got my back and I got your back. I need to know when I'm not around, you're not going to tear me down. You're not going to be cheating on me. You're not going to be doing me dirty. So if I'll take faithfulness for $3. And then I was caught between romantic and great in bed because then I was like, he could be so romantic and then have no skills in the bedroom. Then I'm be like, he's faithful, he's romantic, but he's horrible in bed. No. So I was like, I'm with my cousin. I need you to be faithful. I need you to move like Mick Jagger. You know what I'm saying? Give me some moves. You know what I'm saying? Hit me with them ones and them twos. So yeah, definitely faithful and good in bed. Like Alicia said, we can work on being romantic because I like to be romantic too. So it's not all on the man. I'll pull my weight in that department. Great body would be wonderful. But hey, you know what? There's always room for improvement. We could work on this together. Get us a little LA fitness membership or whatever, or use a garage. You know what I mean? It's whatever. Tall. I don't really care about the tall thing because what would you want to say? Would you want to say something?
Say not with them spiders. We on the Rose City page. I was like, we're not going in that garage.
Don't know what's been going on because people who know me know that I have like converted my garage into my own personal little gym, so I don't have to leave the house. I like to stay home. I have a problem, and I'm gonna work on breaking out of that. But it seems like I've been coming across some stuff that look like some tarantulas in there, and I'm like, oh my god! And do you know? I messed him up, got rid of him. His girlfriend had to get it, but baby, his nephew came last week. Like he was posted up, and I was like, my God, and my king. I'm gonna send you. Did I send you the picture of him? His nephew was posted up. He was like, I heard you took care of the family. So like you want to try that with me? So yeah, I had to kill him too. But yeah, it was a lot. So I was just like, so now when I work out, I'm checking corners and looking around and I have a can of Raid with me because I'm not going to be caught slipping. We got to keep the body together and the spiders will not stop the show. And I know I've grown, like as a human being, I know I have grown significantly because I know if this would have been my past, I would have abandoned ship. You should be like, well, I tried, God. I was trying to get my fitness together, but deuces. So I've grown, and I have my Raid, and I say a little prayer for myself, and then I go out there and get started. Um, but yeah, so like the tall thing, that was never like my thing. Like, some people like, oh, he has to be 6 foot tall. I mean, if he was 6 foot tall, who's gonna tell you to go away, right? However, I'm so short. I'm only 5'3", so everybody's taller than me. You know what I mean? So you're like, oh, yeah, I'm a shorty. So if he's 5'8", 5'7", 5', 9 or whatever, I don't care because you're still taller than me. And that's all I'm asking. We can't both be 5'3". We both can't. You can't. Whatever. So tallness wasn't really a thing. Smart, like Alicia said, baby, we can watch us some documentaries because you're gonna get this work. Funny. I think I'm pretty funny. So you're gonna learn to be funny with me because we're gonna be learning how to crack jokes and connect. But I think the two most important things, really faithfulness and then the bedroom area is really, really important. You can be like, no, it's not. I mean, if you're asexual, then it's okay. You don't have to. But I'm not asexual. I need that sexual healing. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go for that. That's my $5. But if I could choose all, I would need a $13 loan. So, and that's not a part of the game. That's not phone a friend. Any more thoughts on that before we move on? Oh, I said I had a funny story to tell. I'll try to like make it quick because I know I can be like long-winded in the name of Jesus. So back to this whole build a man, right? I had this like really great idea. I was like 17 and a half, nearly 18. And I had this really great idea. You know what? I believe in the power of prayer, right? I believe that God answers our prayers. And if I wanted a certain man in my life, I need to pray for the type of man that I wanted, right? Because we was raised in a Christian household and all this like excessive dating and all that type of stuff. That was just like a no-no. It was like you dating. Everything for us was like you grow up and you let God send you a husband and you get married. Like that was the thing, which I think is a little bit crazy now. I'm not saying that God can't send you your mate, but I definitely think that there's something to be said about learning how to date, like that process and, knowing that like that person may be good looking, but we don't have compatibility. Compatibility is a big, big thing. But you don't learn that because all they teach you is if does he go to church? Do you go to church? Does he come from a good family? You come from a good family. Like that's all. There's a little bit more in the dating world than just that, but we weren't really taught that. We'll have another discussion on another day. So it came to me. It was like, why don't you pray and ask God to send you the type of man that you want? So again, because I was like 17 and a half, nearly 18, I didn't, I wasn't thinking about this from the mature perspective. Like we had to just kind of go down the list and be like, yeah, there are certain things that you need to have, right? I was like bells and whistles. He needs to be 6'3". He needs to look like genuine or something close to that. I like the hair texture. I was just like really, really wild with it. I was like, oh, I want him to be so, rico suave. I want him to be so GQ. I want him to be muy rico. I wanted all of that. You know what I'm saying? Very guapo. I wanted it, right? And I was like, I want him to have like a really, really nice car. And I want him to be like a businessman type thing, right? I prayed out loud and the devil answered. Okay? Let's say that again for the ones in the back who didn't hear. I prayed to God. I told God my request of the type of man that I want. I prayed to God and the devil sent the man that I requested. See, you got to be careful. Everything that you pray for ain't coming from God. Sometimes the devil hears your prayers and he'll send you a little package too, but it won't be the right package. I met this guy that worked at the funeral home at the time, and our families knew each other. His grandmother had passed, and his grandmother was friends with my grandmother and my great aunts and their husbands and stuff, right? So I happened to be working, and they're a really well known family, and they had a big viewing. I just came out like, you go out there, you greet people, make sure everybody's okay. Do you need water? Kleenex? You want to check in on your families and then go back upstairs and then do whatever you were doing at the computer. I saw this man, and baby, when I say 10 out of a 10, he was it. Okay. So I was like, oh my God, he's so beautiful. But then I was thinking, like, his grandmother died or somebody in his family passed away because I didn't know him. I was like, so, you see something that's attractive, but I wasn't going to be like, can I have your number? I just thought, he's a very attractive man, but I'm going to keep it pushing or whatever. So I had to go downstairs a few more times. And I heard his cousins were like, oh, she fine, bro. You need to get at her. And he's like, what I'm saying? In my time. And, ain't nobody going to push me into that. And I was like, ugh, that sounds so ugly. Like, his cousins trying to put him on, whatever. They're like, here she goes. She fine. She fine to do it. And he's like, ain't nobody going to push me to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'll do it when I'm ready. And I was like, so I went back upstairs and I didn't come back. You know what I mean? Not because of that, but it's because I'm like, somebody else can go and check on the families downstairs. I'm good, right? So I keep doing my thug dizzle. And a couple days later was the actual funeral service. So at the very end, we didn't go to the cemetery like we normally would. His grandmother was going to be buried at the National Cemetery. What is that, in Covington or whatever? Tahoma National Cemetery? So it's up north, right? So they don't bury military cemeteries don't bury on the weekends. They only do it Monday through Friday. So since her funeral service was going to be on a Saturday, we had to wait, I think, like Monday or whatever. So um, at this point, service is over, but the family still wanted the casket open for the immediate family, and everybody else was like starting to go out to their vehicles to get ready for, I guess, for us to leave and go somewhere else. I don't know what was that. It was a long time ago. It was a long time ago. But I guess people were starting to leave, maybe go to the repast, something else. I don't know, right? So I'm standing there because I have to help push the casket out. So I was, doing my thing, just waiting. My brothers were already by the hearse with the door open, ready to go. And we all have positions. You stand here, this person's here. So when the family says they're ready, you close the casket, do all the shebang, and then you get to move him. So, anyways, his cousins were like, there she is, bruh. Go get her. And he's like, nah, I want to be a little smooth. But I can hear, I have like really crazy hearing too, which is a little strange. But they were going back and forth. I was pretending like I didn't hear it, but I heard, you know what I'm saying? And so finally they was like, bro, she fine. Like she's right there. What are you doing? Just do it. And so he finally came over to me and he says, noticed you was noticing me from across the room. And I was like, oh, I was noticing you was noticing me too. And he looked at me and said, then why did you make me walk across the room? He was joking a little bit at first. And I was like, well, I mean, you could have walked across, the room too and spoke to me. He was like, yeah, whatever, just give me your phone number. I ain't got time for all this. I said, who you talking to? He was like, talking to you? I said, no, you ain't talking to me like that. I said, you don't come to a woman and speak to her like that. And his cousins were laughing. They were like, yep, that's your wife, dog. You need her because the other chicks you didn't dealt with, you break them too easily. You need somebody who's going to balance you. And he's like, shut up. So he was just like, listen, I don't like all this going back and forth. My grandmother just died and you're being argumentative. I said, I'm not being argumentative. You're rude. And I'm calling out the fact that you're rude. You know what I mean? And he's like, whatever, I don't need your phone number. And I was like, bet. So he walked off. He's like, I ain't got no time for her. And she could be talking to me like that. I'm thinking talking to you like that. You talking to me crazy, but all right. So, anyways, a week later. And see, God be telling me stuff. Like I'm not no psychic and I'm not no prophet, but God be telling me stuff. He don't tell me everything, but he tell me a little bit. He was like, homeboy's coming down here to find you. He said a little bit. I don't know about that. But I was like, I don't know, whatever. I wasn't really thinking about it. So I had heard a voice and I know it was God. It was like, he's coming today. But I was busy. I have a job, honey. I'm a professional woman. I'm probably out picking up death certificates or getting somebody's ashes. I got things to do. So he comes by the funeral home and my brother was like, yeah, some guy who looked like he's some kind of a model came by. And I was like, okay. And I was like, who was he looking for? He's like, he's looking for you. And immediately was like, the voice was like, I told you he was coming. So I was like, what did he say? And he was like, well, he didn't even know your name, first off, which was odd. He was like, he reduced you to a hair type and a skin tone. So that was already reeking of like colorism. I'm looking for this girl. She's about this skin complexion and she's got wavy hair. And I was like, I don't like being like, don't. I don't like that. You know what I mean? Because it reeks of colorism, and we're not doing that. So they told him, okay, I wasn't there or whatever. He didn't leave a number or a business card. He just bounced. So anyway, a week later, there was some kind of problems with the phone lines, and I had to stay home to do something for my mom's phone line or whatever. Because Alicia knows how you have to transfer the phones in the mornings. Anyways, so I had to stay home so they could get the thing worked out at the funeral home so I could transfer the line back over. And I heard a voice say, he's going to call you today because this is like a week later. So the phone rang and I heard a voice was like, there he is. Oh, and the man was on the line. This doesn't happen to me with everything. It was just like God was being very specific that day. Um, I picked up the phone and he was like, do you know who this is? And I was like, I know who this is. He was like, who? I was like, well, I don't know your name, but I know your last name. And he was like, how did you know that? And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. So we start talking. So he tells me, I'm really interested in dating you. And what do you think about that? And I was like, yeah, we can get to know each other. And so I started telling him, do you know how our families know each other? And he was like, he kind of got quiet. He didn't say anything. I was like, well, my family's from Alabama. And his grandparents were military. And so they were just like they were all from Alabama or something like that. So they were telling my grandmother and her sisters, you guys should move out west to Washington State. Opportunities for Black people out there. It's better than being here in the oppressive, horribly racist South. We have racism here too in the Northwest, so don't like get it twisted. But it was really bad in the South, right? And so I was telling him, so that's like how our families are connected because of your grandparents. My family came to the Northwest. And I was in the middle of town. He's like, yeah, I don't really care about that. And my grandparents have helped a lot of people. They're pillars in this community. He had like really strong mic energy. And I was like, that was really rude to cut somebody off when I was just trying to explain like how we know each other. Like I knew his grandmother, I knew his grandfather, very, very nice, very sweet people. But this grandson of theirs was like next level narcissistic, abusive, right? So he's like, okay, I don't have enough, I don't have a lot of time to be on the phone. Anyway, let me just tell you what I want to tell you. He was like, I'm interested in dating you. You're my type. And I was like, what does that mean? I'm your type. And he was like, well, you fit the type that I'm looking for. I like short girls. I like your skin tone and lighter. I wouldn't go. I was like, you wouldn't do what? He was like, I don't like dark skin. And I was like, no, no, no. And anytime anybody says stuff like that, it's automatic. I mean, everything else he had already said was bad enough. But really, when you start talking about you don't date people based on their skin tone, that's like, I can't look past that. because you are a colorist and I don't deal with that type of like behavior. And so he's like gassing me up and being like, well, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you better be lucky, basically, like you fit my type and, you know, I like your hair and all this stuff. And at that time, I was wearing my natural hair, which is like, and he was just like, yeah, I like your texture, I like the length and all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, you know, it was really reeking of like colorism on like a high degree. And I didn't really like that. And so he was like, okay, so when I date a woman, this is what I like to do. Because he was a business guy. So he was like, I noticed, you know, how you mix and move at the funeral home, and I really, really like how you handle yourself. He was like, I've dealt with other women and they don't really know business etiquette. They don't really know how to work a room. He's like, I have watched you in different settings. You're very professional. You know how to handle yourself. And I'm really looking for that. And he was like, so I attend a lot of things for the city. I attend a lot of, you know, mixers for business entrepreneurs, and I would love to take you with me. And I was like, I'm listening to everything he was telling me, but he was just like, basically, he told me, um, but I have to dress you. And I was like, you have to dress me. So he told me he was going to take me shopping once a month, but he has to pick all of my clothes. He told me that I would get my hair and my nails and my feet done once a week, but he has to pick the nail colors and he has to pick a stylist. He has to pick my hairstyle. Um, Everything was I would basically be a doll, and he would just dress me. And then so he told me, and I work out a doll. He told me he worked out Monday through Friday, and so I would have to wake up by 4:30, be at the gym at 5 a.m. in the morning because we would have to work out at least an hour and a half. Like, is there something wrong with the way that I look? I mean, because you want to come in and you want to do my hair and you want to do my nails. He's like, no, no, no. He's like, you look great. But I'm just saying, if you're going to be my woman, you have to allow me to dress you. You have to allow me to, you know, basically help you to elevate. And I was like, I need your help to do nothing. And so we got into an argument because I was like, you're very rude. And like, you know, he would cut me off and tell me he didn't care when I was talking. This is the first conversation. I don't care what you're talking about. Yeah, okay, because I'm busy. I'm a businessman. I ain't got time for that. Who are you talking to? So I was like, yeah, this is not gonna work. So he was like, you know what? I don't chase after women, and you're lucky. And I'm lucky. I'm lucky. He told me I never go after women, and the fact that I have put so much effort into talking to you, you know, you should feel grateful. There was no effort put in. He was so freaking rude to me. He was like, and them other women I dealt with, you know, they're so attractive and beautiful. And they came to me. I never went to a woman, and you're the first. And I thought you were really gonna be special and maybe somebody that I could marry because our families, you know, go back. But no, this is a mistake, and I'll never call you again. You don't ever have to worry about me. And so he got off the phone and we never spoke again. And years later, my mom had told me she had said something. She was talking to one of her friends. They was gossiping about something, and his name came up. And my mom was like, "Oh, he just be doing his wife so bad." And I was like, "Oh," and she said his name. And my mom was like, "Oh, you really dodged the bullet with that one, Karina." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And so she told me that he I guess was very mean to his wife, basically has broken her down emotionally, mentally, got a couple kids by other people, and just did her really, really dirty. And my mom was like, you know, you really dodged a bullet with that one. And I remember thinking after our little argument had exploded, um, you know, I was like, well, maybe I was just doing too much. Maybe I wasn't allowing him to lead. He's telling me what he wants. He's putting all his cards out on the table, and I'm, you know, just like not being as supportive. And I was trying to rationalize this in my mind. I heard God was like, leave him alone. He will take you down roads that I'm not sure you can come back from. And I was like, what does that mean? I was like, that sound good though. Basically, when in my prayer, I prayed for all the superficial stuff. I didn't take the time to pray about like being a good person, being faithful, being kind, being generous, being loyal, being a protector, you know, all that type of stuff. Because I think he would have pushed me in front of a bus if that's what needed to happen to save himself. So, ladies and gentlemen, when you're out here praying to God, be very specific in your prayers. Don't just focus on the outward appearance. And you do want somebody who's attractive, but you also want somebody who has an attractive spirit. Because if you have darkness radiating out of your heart, I don't want any of that because that's like mad drama. So when you pray and you're looking for your spouse or you're looking for a person that you want to be with, make sure that you don't just focus on the outside. Focus on the inward things as well. Strong communication, understanding. You know what I mean? Like just focus on good qualities and traits, because if you don't, the devil will send you somebody who's beautiful or very handsome and they will destroy your life. All right.